Oh, okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is the Charleston, South Carolina monthly meeting of the FENG. We have with us tonight Rich Connell, who is our guest speaker. And Rich's focus tonight will be on the interview and some of the essential learnings that he's going to share with us. So I think we'll just go quickly around the room and give our 30-second elevator pitch. As you see, my name is Roy Rathbun. I spent 40 years in corporate America, relocated to Charleston, South Carolina 5 years ago, and have been working as a outsourced CFO down here since then. And my background includes travel and hospitality, direct marketing, and transportation. All right, let's go over to Bob, if you would, please.
Sure. I'm checking for any Bobs other than the Robert. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Johnston, the sales organization's best friend. Designation earned by elevating my role as a director of credit and global shared services developer. I grow revenues, reduce costs, and mitigate risk for commercial and international businesses of all sizes across all industries. Currently, I'm a management consultant for Pfizer Corporation, have been for about a year, helping them to build a customer scorecard for global use and to establish a single carrier for their trade insurance.
All right.
And I'm out of Memphis area.
All right. Raja?
Sure. I don't really have to check for any other Rajas being on the phone. So, so I'm in Cary, North Carolina, outside of Raleigh, and I'm sort of a blend of an engineer, operations, and commercial, particularly in finance areas through work experiences and educational background as well. So I am a finance director of financial planning and analysis, treasury, and a lot in decision analysis. Worked very closely in, I guess, business partnering with sales teams and operations teams, having a blend of the engineering and operations background that's helped me a lot in being a business partner. So as of April 1st, I am in transition. My company went through Chapter 11 middle of last year and slow bleeding, and my group got caught up in that late last year and early this year. So my role got taken out end of March. So
all right. Raja, just if you haven't done so already, I would encourage you to send your resume into the FENG Resume Review Committee.
Okay.
Get some feedback from someone who's been in similar positions as you have.
Yep.
I think it's very worthwhile. Alice?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm actually from Atlanta, and this is the first time I'm joining one of your meetings, so thank you very much for opening it up to us. So yeah, for me, I'm currently the head of tax for a global telecommunications company. We are in about 24 countries, so I spend a lot of time working kind of crazy hours. I'm supporting Asia in the middle of the night and Europe in in the crack of dawn, and the US all day. Never really had a tax job, unfortunately, that wasn't like that. But look, one of the great things about this group is the opportunity to get perspectives from others in finance. As a tax person, I'm absolutely supporting what our CFO is doing and supporting the strategic goals of the company and trying to align my team behind those. So we are struggling a bit in the current environment post COVID-19. So I'm looking forward to kind of brushing up on some things. It's been 10 years since my last transition, but not knowing kind of what the future holds. I thought it's about time I brush up on some of these skills. And to your point, Roy, I have recently sent my resume to the Resume Review Committee and got some fantastic feedback in a matter of a couple of days. And I begged them to be brutally honest, and they were, but very kindly. So thanks for inviting me.
Good. Yeah, I've been part of that committee for probably at least 10 years.
Okay.
So I find it rewarding. It's great. It's as you suggest, it's great to give constructive feedback to people. So
Absolutely.
it is.
And it's hard to
Well-
get it, right? It's hard to get it.
It is hard to get it. Yeah. So welcome. Glad to have you with us tonight, Alice.
Thank you.
Dan, are you there?
I am. I'm Dan Poirier. I'm here in Charleston. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Protec USA. We distribute chemicals to the sugar industry. We're a small business, only have about a handful of employees, but we service clients all over the world, Asia, Australia, South and Central America, and of course here in the United States. I cut my teeth in financial management with a company called SMG a long time ago. We managed stadiums, arenas, and convention centers. Very large company, and probably about 20 years ago, I moved over to the small company side, trying to help them keep their money, keep the money that they're earning.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it
you,
for me
Dan.
now.
Thank you. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Chris Stein, also from the Atlanta metro area. Good to be here. I'm a senior level finance business partner. Also have a background running a large professional services organization and sales enablement, primarily in software and technology fintech companies. Although I'm currently working with an educational assessment company as a consultant that's going through a major digital transformation, helping them uncover revenue opportunities and other insights throughout the company, leading to some actionable insights. So I look forward to tonight's presentation. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Chris. And now we'll turn it over to Rich. Rich, as I said, is tonight's guest speaker. So Rich, why don't you give the folks a little bit about your background and then just start your presentation.
Works for me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak here this evening and see if I can enlighten anyone in some areas that might be related to transition or change, or you never know, looking for something new. You know, you don't have to wait, until you have to engage in a career search to find something that you love. And, the real bottom line is that when you love it, you do better. And, you're probably a better part of the entire team if you do. I've been in career search now for, well, we'll just put it over 30 years, 4 major firms, and started my own, starting to lose track 12, 15 years ago, and have really more fun doing what I'm doing than just about anybody I've ever met in my life. It's not work for me. It's fun, it's enjoyable, but at the same time, it's a world in which, quite honestly, only 2% of anyone in our country has ever been trained in the area of career search. That's a sad thought, because you got a few universities out there that want people to believe, oh yeah, we teach these students, how to go out and find a great position. And in truth, we did a major audit, if you will. That's a good word for financial. Did an audit of Purdue University, and we gave them a D-, in terms of what they were actually doing to teach people. They got an A in job fairs, because they do a ton of them. But at the same time, if you went to Purdue and you're not in Lafayette, then they can't help you. And so, kind of a sad thought. But I've done thousands of searches, and many lost track, executive searches in every category that you could name: CEO, CFO, CIO, CTO. And the joke is CIEIO. So, but the thought is that I have, to this point, I was trying to figure it out the other day, I probably reviewed 250,000 resumes. And very few people know what it's supposed to look like. What are you supposed to put on there? How it's supposed to look? Having a review board, I think, through your organization is, a very intelligent thing, because It doesn't matter how high a person climbs, how smart they are, how long they've been in business, doesn't mean you know how to do a resume. Been working here with a gentleman by the name of Dave Bolton, and Dave is an incredibly educated man. It was in transition and not getting through to the next interviews. We interviewed with a Canadian company that's in cannabis, of all things. And he got to the second level and he was like a little teenager, you know, kind of pretty excited about it. But thought process is that as you receive as you receive the email from Charlotte, you'll have my email on there. And if you'd like some feedback with respect to your resume, I'd be more than happy to take a look at what you have, what it looks like. Probably I would have to guess that you may never have an opportunity to send your resume to someone that's reviewed over 250,000 of them. And, you know, it's something where I have to be truthful. I have to be objective. I can't embellish. I'm not here to fluff people up with regard to, you know, anything. I just tell the truth. And, Raj, do you have, did they provide you with outplacement?
Yeah, so company called Lee Hecht Harrison, I think, LHH. Okay.
Okay.
Mixed bag with them.
Well, you know, the bottom line is this, is that most professionals and most executives do not know you could choose anyone you wanted. They just wanted you to be happy and go away. And so, you know, people don't know that. And so they go, well, they gave me this company or that company or whatever. You can choose anyone you want. You can do whatever research you want. And you can, you know, 99 times out of 100, you know, match what the dollar figure is that they're utilizing, because they just want you to be happy.
Mhm.
Just, you know, not create problems. It's kind of
Sure.
one of the things that corporate outplacement is about. And it's only an industry that's about 45 years old. It's not very old. So a lot of people don't even know what the word corporate outplacement means.
Hmm.
You know, if you ask that question, you know, I was corporately outplaced. You know what that means? No. And if they do, it's usually laid off.
Yep.
And if anyone is in this industry, for the most part, they think they're a recruiter. So a recruiter works for the company. A recruiter doesn't work for a person. They're always working for a company. They get paid by the company. But unfortunately, in the world of finance, I'm sure that there are some of you that may know that if you're working with a recruiter, they play funny money. They take their fees out of the person's salary, and the person never knows it. Very few times, you know, except for a company that's in dire need of those particular skill sets that are specific to what a person knows. Will a company actually, you know, pay that 25-30% of the first year salary? I mean, you don't have to, so why would they? So feel free, if you would like, Raj, send me your resume. I'll look it over, and
Yeah, I'm going to take you up on that.
you know, I've got an offering also that I'll send along here with the answers to the questions that we have here tonight. And you know, it's the deal of the century. So, you know, you can consider that objectively as you wish.
Much appreciated.
I have you know, multiple subjects, as Charlotte knows, that I can speak on, and you know, I'm a talker, and so if I go too fast or if I'm covering something you want to know more about it, hey, buzz in, you know, ask me a question. There's no such thing as an interruption to me. So, you know, I just enjoy the opportunity to be able to help people. You know, it's where I'm at now in my career. I'm helping, you know, I feel great about life. But let's just kick right into this thing here. You got to understand what you are looking for when you're in a career search. And a lot of people don't take the time to try to identify, you know, the parameters. First of all, the general parameters that are involved. of what do you want? What's going to make you happy? What's going to fulfill your life? A career is easily said that it's 1/2 of your waking life. That's a lot of time. So you might as well love it, but there are 5 major priorities that you have for your next career position. And they're general, they're not specific, they're general. What do you think? Anyone? Want to throw one out there? Priority
Work-life balance.
career search.
Work-life balance.
Work-life balance, work-life balance, work-life balance. That's kind of a tough one because everyone could have a different definition of what that means. That makes sense?
Yep.
So really the answer that you're giving me is pretty simple. You want to be happy. It's not complicated. You want to be happy. Some people are workaholics. Some people pound code, just want to be in a room by themselves. Leave me alone. Let me pound code. Make sure it works, right? Some people want to be, in major team work where they're constantly working with other people. Salespeople sometimes need to be out and about and speaking to somebody about, their products and services relevant to the company. Everybody is different in terms of what it is that makes them happy. But generally, happy is where it's at. And if I ever ask my clients, so what is it that you want your wife to be? What does you want your husband to be? And the key word is happy. We all just want to be happy. So we got to kind of define those things that make us happy at work and make sure that we're going in and including those things in what we're going after. Not just, what's in Career Builder, what's in Monster, what's in Indeed, it's about what you want, right? So being happy, we got 4 more. What are they?
Compensation.
Hey, son of a gun, that's got something to do with financial. So the key words here are fairly compensated. When you're talking to a company and what have you, say, hey, money is not the most important thing. But of course, everyone wants to be fairly compensated for what they put into their efforts at work, and everybody has really kind of a different value in that regard. And it's one of the things that my clients depend upon me having known, thousands and thousands of different situations. I know what almost everyone gets paid. And, and usually I can look at a corporation, what it is that a person's, tasks are going to be, and I can come up with a pretty reasonable range in which, that should land. But yeah, you bet. We need to get paid, unless we're in some kind of a not-for-profit at which we are just completely buried in, this is what makes me happy, helping people, and they don't have to get paid anymore. I'm not there yet. Okay. I haven't, participated in that, but looking forward to it. 3 more. What else we got?
Meaningful work.
Meaningful. Wow. Meaningful. There's something that can't, it's tomato seed. If you ever tried to put tomato seed on a table and put your thumb on it, you got to try it. It's so hard to do. It's unbelievable. It squirts out from underneath your thumb. So probably not in the category of these 3 things. That's probably going to fall, Raj, into more of the happy. Makes me happy.
How about opportunity?
Opportunity for
growth or moving up, whatever, however you want to define opportunity. It's different for different people.
Right. Most people don't want to do the same thing forever. Most people want to have an advancement of some sort that they can look forward to so that they know they're getting to where it is that they want to go. Although a lot of people don't really define in their careers where they want to go, where they want to end up, where they want to be. But absolutely, if you're not growing, then you're missing out on the opportunities with respect to the future. And everybody has their limits. Not everybody wants to run the whole company. Not everybody wants to be the CFO, right? but absolutely true.
How about intellectual growth, intellectual challenges?
Yeah, it's going to go in the growth category. I mean, where we're learning, we're getting smarter, we're getting better. What a lot of people don't really realize is they don't really know what the priorities are to be happy in life. It doesn't seem to be something that they want to teach in school. The number one priority in life is love. Always has been, always will be. The number two priority, very few of my clients can ever tell me, is wisdom, knowledge, and advice. All fall into that second category of make you happy. So yeah, I think you got to be intellectually stimulated in that regard. And you know what? I'm going to throw this in there. I think that that's got to be directly related to one of these answers. Challenged, right? There's got to be a challenge. You know, if it's too easy, people don't respond as well. You know, they do better when they're kind of up against it. That makes sense. You know, they do better when they're being challenged. One more, throw something out there. It might be right.
Not being micromanaged, some level sense of autonomy.
You know, that's certainly going to fall again into that happy category, right? Because some people just tell me what to do. And other people definitely, hey, let me think on my own and have the autonomy to figure out what the solutions are. But this one, Raj, has got to hit home for you, okay? You ready? It's got to be stable, okay?
That's where I went wrong.
It's something that's got to be there tomorrow, you know. I was talking to a gentleman here recently about KFC. Man, I've been eating that chicken since I was a kid. I mean, and they you know, they seem to be growing, you know, quite well and doing quite well, although the prices aren't the same. And I remember the buckets used to be a lot bigger. But you know, if it's something that is in demand, if it's something that is growing in that regard, then you know it's going to be stable, right? Pretty simple, not a complicated formula. Be happy, be stable, be challenged, growth oriented, and fairly compensated. But this can be the answer to a question in an interview. You've learned about the company, you've learned about the people, you've done your research, and you know, one of the things that you need to be able to tell an interviewer is, you know, the people that I've met and talked to in this company are pretty happy to do what they do. You know, this company is going to be around a long time. These products and services are important. They're going to be here. You know, as you were explaining to me, it's a very challenging position, and I love that. You know, from my standpoint, you explained to me that there's growth and opportunities for the future, which is what I want. And from everything I understand at this point, I'd be fairly compensated. So this can be actually an answer to a question in an interview that the interviewer wants to hear. You know, they want to know there's a match. You know, they don't want to be wasting their time. Number two, how much time? Oops, I don't want to give the answer here. So number two, you got to establish courtesy in the interview. One of the ways that you're going to establish strong courtesy is to pay attention to what the interviewer needs, what the interviewer wants, right? So what do most people fail to ask the interviewer relating to the interview?
What are you looking for?
To a certain extent, that is a rare question for some particular reason, because usually by the time you're getting into an interview, you've got a job description sitting in front of you. And,
You gave it away. How much time do we have for the interview?
See, I messed up. Okay.
You gave it away.
They said, you know, scuba divers have to be paying attention to everything around them, man. They get eaten by a shark. I mean, come on.
You get lost in a cave.
Lost in a cave. No, man. I do a lot of things underwater. Okay, enjoy the fish, but I'm not going in a cave. Okay, so. But the way we want to do that is this. In the beginning of the interview, okay, it's very important to ask the question, well, how much time did you have allocated for our interview today? You know, I mean, it's a courtesy. You're telling them that you appreciate their time, you appreciate the consideration for filling the position, and lots of things that you need to say. But for the most part, you want them to know what the time is. And so for my clients, when they hear what the answer is to how much time there is allocated, they're going to write that time down. And when it comes to that time in the interview later, they're going to say, hey, we came to the end of the time that you had set aside, unless maybe you have a few more minutes, which would be great. But then that way you're paying attention to something that's important to them, because everybody's time is important. You know, there's some people probably signed up for this, Roy, that, you know, didn't realize, oh my gosh, I have to get this done, I have to get this done, I have to get this done. That happens, right? Time gets away from us.
Yes.
You know, I'm a cosmologist, and what a lot of people don't realize is the entire universe is made up of 4 things. Wow, only 4 things: space, time, energy, and matter. And so we're going to pay attention to one of those things with the interviewer, and that's their time.
Rich, if I could just build on your comments,
Sure.
Another courteous question to ask is, Mr. Connell, is it all right if I call you Rich?
Good one. Hey, if you want to go there, we'll do the full communications thing at some point in time, because Charlotte knows I love to do these. I'm available, right? But if you want to learn this, Roy, this is the question that you ask people that you don't know. Are you ready? So what do your friends call you?
Right.
And you would say Roy, and I'd say, well, I just go by Rich. And now I'm going to sprinkle that into the conversation. It's like salt on food. You put too much in there, it's weird. You know, I say Roy, 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 Roy. It gets weird real fast. But if you can get on a first name basis with the interviewer, you're winning. And that's a great question to be able to ask. Now, sometimes with age and sometimes with qualifications, we might start with Mr., Mrs., Miss, Ms. if we don't know. And then move on to that and say, hey, do your friends call you Mr. Jones? I'll go there. No, I just go by so-and-so, because we want to get on that first name basis. Absolutely fantastic comment, Roy. Fantastic. Know what will bring you success in the interview. The 3 top reasons they would hire you or choose you for that position. What are the 3 top reasons?
Personality fit or cultural fit.
Yes, again, this is kind of a educated college professor kind of answer kind of a thing. What do you really want to say, Raj? What's it get down to, the nitty gritty?
They like you.
Bam, dude, love it. Is it too simple? They like you. A book that's been sold out for, millions and millions and millions of people, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, one of the best books ever written all time. Matter of fact, it's considered by many to be the #1 business book ever written. In that book, they had the 6 ways to get people to like you. In my program, it turned into 8 ways to get people to like you. And it's amazing how many of my clients do not know what those things are. They just don't know. They weren't taught. How are you supposed to know if nobody ever taught you? Not your family, not your work, not, teachers, not professors. You can't learn something unless somebody's, trying to teach it to you. Right? So yeah, they like you, but here are you ready for this one? It can be 40 to 50% of the interview. Okay, that's a lot. I've had so many clients that were hired because they liked them, not because they were qualified for the position. They go, hey, this guy's smart. We can teach him what to do. That's certainly not going to be the case in some high-end financial positions, such as this organization has. But it is absolutely true. I've had people that were chosen as, that were my clients that, didn't have a ghost chance to get it and got it. And it's because they liked them so much. They like you. 40, 50%, which means
that makes perfect sense, Rich. I would tell you, because particularly when you're interviewing senior level people, the technical skills are assumed, right? I mean, they didn't get as far as they got without the technical skills. So it really is all about the fit. Can we get along with you? Are you going to fit in with us? Do we like you? Because no matter how smart you are, if we really don't like you and can't get along with you, we're not hiring you. Absolutely. So the 40 to 50% doesn't surprise me at all.
And we've all been so lucky that we didn't have to work with people we didn't like.
I don't know that I've been that lucky. Not all the time.
That's going too far right there. Whoa. You know? But you know, it's absolutely a truth. And again, you know, kind of one of the fun things, and you know, we can continue communication. You can have my email. Feel free. You know, I enjoy communicating with people all the time, all over the world. And you know, if you're interested in finding out what are those 8 things that, you know, get people to like us, then you know, I'll get you a list and we can talk about it, Zoom, or you know, just be on a little chat with respect to our cell phones. Okay, there's one reason they like you. It's all, can be 1/2 of the whole doggone interview. What 2 more? What are they? One of them's kind of hidden. One of them's rather obvious.
Are you qualified?
Are you qualified? Are you qualified? Well, what's that mean? Come on, give it to me in just basic, you know, down to
Can you do the job?
boom.
Or maybe are you meeting a specific need that they have?
You know, the bottom line is they believe you can do the job. I mean, come on. They got to believe you can do the job. If they don't believe you can do the job, they're going to hire somebody else. Let's face it. It is what it is, right? That's not going to change. So, yeah. And then one more, the one that's hidden. People don't think about.
Can we afford you? Are you within our pay scale?
They're not usually worried about that.
Okay.
You know, if it's going to fit, it's going to fit. But you know, they're not going to get to that point until they're ready to bring forward an offer. And money is a touchy subject. You know, it's one of those things you got to do right. You can't mess that up. Can't ask for too much. They won't hire you. Can't ask for too little. Then you're the one that's, you know, in the middle having to beg for raises in the future to earn what it was you were worth when you walked through the door. Now I'm going to throw it out there because I don't have as much time as what I always want. Trust. I got to trust you. There's got to be that feeling of trust. Okay. They like you comes from the 8 ways that you get people to like you. And I'll just throw 2 of them out. Great eye contact and a fantastic smile. That's like right up there with nonverbal communications. Okay. Number 2, they believe you can get the job done. That's going to have something to do with what they're reading on your resume. That's going to have to do with you being able to explain in a star F story. And by the way, Raj, they probably won't teach you what a star F story is, which is wrong. Okay. Okay. Lee Hecht and Harrison, they want people done as quickly as possible. Hey, you get this much, good luck, see you, bye. You know, it is their nature. I've been in this business a long time. I know all the players, but you know, the thought process is, you know, you can do the job is your ability to share a story with them about how you solve problems for your companies in the past, you know, and being able to get the feedback. Well, is that what you were looking for? You know, kind of questions. So, you know, the trust part is also a story. You were in a situation, it was tough, you know, the CFO was out of the country, you had to deal with this and this, you had to put this together, and you did it, and you knocked it out of the park, and you got accolades from all the top executives. You know, you were trustworthy in a situation in which was important for the company. And so trust comes from a story. They believe you can get the job done, comes from your resume and a story, but they like you. You know, it's that personality. John Maxwell, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. One of the best quotes ever given in business. We have a mission. We're going to an interview, Raj. You got a mission. You're a soldier. You're going in with a mission that has 2 parts. What is it? What's the mission, soldier?
To do well on the interview and hopefully advance.
Advance.
Potentially getting the job.
Get the offer.
Get the job. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what almost all my clients say to me, to get the job. That's not it. That's not true. That is not true. And when you find out what it really is, you'll go, oh, that's right. Rich knows what he's doing over there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, somebody give it to me. What's the mission of the interview?
See if you like them.
What?
See if you like them.
Yeah, you could like them and not get what you want. This is your mission. This is like a soldier has a mission. Go and control this space, whatever. It has a specific mission. What is it? Come on, Alice. I know you know this. Bob, chime in there. Come on, man. Yeah, I know you're there. It's not just a picture of you.
Get the offer.
Who said that? Did you say that, Bob?
Mhm.
There's one part. Get the offer. How simple is this? Not get the job. You get the job. You can't negotiate. I got the job. You know, my negotiations can be 20 and 25% of what they lay on the table the first time. You know, it's part I love it so much. It's, you know, hard to explain. Love the negotiation portion once we get that offer. We get the offer, and then what, Bob?
It's either accept or reject it, or
Nope.
set up a time to negotiate it.
Well, you're going to do that, but that's not the mission.
To make a decision as to whether you want the offer.
Well, of course you're going to be doing that, you know, and hopefully you have somebody to discuss that with. Roy, what do you think?
Well, let's see. You've got the offer. You know you're going to negotiate. I'm kind of stumped, Rich. I can't think of anything.
We make it harder than it is. Are you ready? Get the offer and get out. It's time to go. It's time. See ya. Okay. You know, a lot of young clients, you know, relevant to going in and interviewing with somebody that was, you know, smarter than they were. You know, it was around a 10:30 interview, and they get done around noon. They go, let's go to lunch. You know, that, or worse yet, let's go have a couple beers. Okay. You know, where they can find out all the reasons why not to hire you. Okay. So once you get what it is that you're there to get, which is get that doggone offer in your hands, it's time to go. You know, they offer for something else or time wise, you know, let me take a rain check on that. I really appreciate that offer. But the truth of the matter is I've got a really busy day ahead of me. You know, thank you so much for the offer and get the heck out. It's almost too simple, isn't it? Get the offer and get out. Okay, well, let's make it tougher. What's the mission of the interview if you don't want the position? 2 parts.
Get the offer.
Roy, it belies the experience and the gray hair that I see there in the picture.
It's all these gray hairs.
What's the second part?
I said it's all these gray hairs, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. Get the offer and what?
There was no part 2 from me.
There is a part 2.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
It didn't change. The mission doesn't change in the interview. Remember that, Raj. It doesn't change. You know, see if Lee Hexton Harrison will teach you that. Probably not. You know, it's time to you get you know what you're there to get, and you go. But if you're sitting there thinking about whether you want the position or not, you're making a mistake. That is not why you're there. If you have that offer and it turns out to be something you didn't want, you can say to the next company you're interviewing with, I have some firm offers. That makes them want you even more. And so the other part is I've had people completely renegotiate their position, their salary, everything, and turn it into something that they really did want. So unfortunately, too many people are sitting there thinking in the interview, do I want this? That is not your mission, soldier. It's get the offer and get out, regardless of where that position might fit in your brains. You got time to figure this out and calculate your negotiations before you come back. And by the way, the key words that we say relevant to once we have an offer is, hey, let's go ahead and set up a time to firm things up. Firm things up. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound like you're going to say yes? But firm things up is code for negotiate. And they appreciate somebody that knows what they're doing and knows where they're going. Okay. You got to be prepared to win. What do you have to learn about the interviewer besides their name? Which is, by the way, what do your friends call you? We got to learn about the interviewer. This is a
I think it's critical to know where they fit in the decision-making process, and what role do they play in evaluating you with their peers?
Right. So we have to know what the question is. The bottom line is know the questions. Questions can make you smarter than anything else in the world. So the question is, if you don't mind me asking, will you be the one making the final decision as to who to bring aboard? Simple question, right? If they're the decision maker, then we go one path, which is to move towards getting the offer from them. If they are not the decision maker, then we go another path, right? So it determines what we're going to be asking for as we go through the interview, okay? And let's just, if we're with decision maker, I want the offer. The question is very simple. I think this position fits me extremely well because of A, B, and C. For an executive, A, B, and C can be a couple of sentences, might even be a paragraph. Okay. And for someone, looking for 80,000, it might just be, it's exciting, it's challenging, and I think it fits me in many ways. You don't have to say a whole lot for ABC, but the question is, how can I go about getting an offer for this position today? You're with a decision maker, you better be a closer, you better learn what sales is, and you better close the deal, because that's what it's about. That makes sense? So the non-decision maker, what's the secondary mission of the interview? We can't get the offer. We're not with the decision maker. So what's our secondary mission? Two parts.
Get me to the decision maker.
How? And so tell me more, Dan.
So
Explain that.
what's going to, what do you need from me in order to get past, or in order to get to the next level of interviewing?
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the key things that we need to learn to do is to ask for help. Because a lot of people just don't ask for help. I mean, they're in front of the non-decision maker. So the bottom line is, could you help me get that interview set up with Sam, the decision maker? I mean,
Okay.
Right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bottom line, okay? But what we want first is, and I'll just do this with Dan. Dan, do you think that I have the skill sets that you were looking for to fill this position? And you say yes.
Yes, I do.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to go for the home run. Would you be able to recommend me to Sam to fill this spot?
I think that you're a contender, but I need to look at some other people that are scheduled to interview for this position.
And that's exactly what we expect to hear. And you say, hey, if I was in your position, I would say exactly the same thing. But I hope that you have some great things to share with Sam about me, because I am very excited about this position. And I really appreciate your time, Dan. I mean, it's not tough to win. It's tough to know how to win and to ask and say the right things at the right time. That makes some sense?
Yep.
Okay, so get that recommendation and see if you can ask for help to set up the interview with the decision maker. Because when you ask, I read somewhere, ask and you will receive. Okay, so I always thought that was something that sounded pretty smart, so, never be afraid to ask, but ask as politely as you possibly can, and of course, now I'm busy looking at the board behind Dan, trying to figure out what all that stuff is. Of course, my brains wander,
Oh, that's my son's plan for getting his grades up.
Well, that's a good thing to have a plan, right? One of the easiest, quickest ways to impress the interviewer that most people do, less than 1% of people do in the interview. And it always impresses them. And of course, that could be a lot of different things. So, you know, your mind wanders into all these categories, but what do you think that might be?
Having done your homework about them.
They
What do
want
you know
you to,
about them?
they, you know, you walk in and go, hey, what is it your company does? Okay, you're not going to get the position, that's for sure. You know, doing some research
No.
before you get there, of course, pretty important. But anyone else want to give that one a stab in the dark?
What are the challenges that they're having? What's I think the pain points, I guess is the term.
Yeah, you know, that's a beautiful question to be able to ask. It's not where I'm going right now, but it is a beautiful question to ask. What are some of the more difficult problems that you're trying to solve right now that my skills might fit into? And then that way, hopefully, Lord willing, you got a story to be able to relate to how you have helped another company in a similar situation. The place that I'm going with this one is a great quote. People just don't realize that when you have a great quote and you know who said it, that it's impressive. And so I always have my clients memorize 2, 3, 4 quotes that they might be able to use. You know, if I have a client walks into an interview and there's all kinds of football, this and that, and what have you in the office, you know, well, you know, hey, Lombardi said winning is not the most important thing; it's the only thing, right? And so I like to try to pinpoint that. But if you have some great quotes ready, okay, it's pretty tough to beat. I always like this one by Oprah Winfrey. Devote today to something so daring, even you can't believe you're doing it. You know, or, oh, you know, probably one of the best ones I ever heard was Mark Twain. Kindness is the language the blind can see and the deaf can hear. You know, and you're trying to be kind and intelligent in an interview. Of course, you know, there's always Albert Einstein. If you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you always got. And to think otherwise is the definition of insanity. You know, that might be a little negative, what have you. Dale Carnegie, people rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they're doing. And I think this position looks like it fits me well enough that I would have fun in this position, you know, with your company. Tony Robbins, identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions. You know, it doesn't really matter what it is. If it has some impact to it, it makes the interviewer think that there's a depth to your personality that other people aren't going to have. They have to look for someone that stands out, and they will look for anything that's different that stands out in, you know, in an interview. Because if you're just sitting there like a bump on a log, okay, giving the same answers that the last 5 people did, it starts to blur the imagination. It starts to blur the mind, and you have a difficult time trying to figure out who is who. So not being afraid, okay, to let your personality come out, your sense of humor, you know, your smile, that you're enjoying the interview itself. Okay, these are all very, very important things. But a great quote, how simple is that? I mean, that just doesn't take that much time, you know, to come up with some quotes that you can walk into, and but always know who said it, you know. I know there was one that was anonymous that I always liked, and it was, when I die, I want to go peacefully and quietly in my sleep like my grandfather did, not screaming and shouting like the passengers in his car at the time. You know, so no, I wouldn't use that in an interview. Okay. But in the interview, 99% of interviewees failed to ask what near the end. 99% of everyone interviewing at any level that you could name and for any kind of position fail to ask what at the end.
I always ask if there's anything else I can tell them about my background, to help them see that I'm a good fit for the job, or some variant of do you have any concerns about my background and experience, or is there anything preventing you?
I hear that a lot, Alice. I hear that a lot from my clients. I tell them that the world of interviewing has no negs, no negatives,
Okay,
none whatsoever. It's the pure, the powerful, and the positive, and that's who you are, and that's what you are about, and that's what they want in their company.
When can I
it is a
follow up
question
with
that
you?
A lot of people do ask, though. So I'm sorry, Dan.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, that's
When
okay.
can I follow up with you on this?
Ooh, uh, hang in there for my next question. Okay.
Get to ask for the job.
Hey, who said that?
Chris.
Chris,
Chris. I'm sorry, I was out running before this meeting and I decided you probably didn't want to see me on camera. I apologize.
Yeah, no, man, you got great eyes. Your eyes are astounding on camera and really the picture too. So, little compliment there. First of all, the questions start with a trial close. You got to learn how to sell. When you're in an interview, you got to learn how to sell. That's what it is. It's selling yourself. And it's one of the most important sales that you ever make, because you want all the offers and then you want to decide which one fits you the best, right? But a trial close is nothing more than, do you think I would be a good fit for this position? Do I have the skills that you are looking for in terms of bringing me in today into this interview to solve the problems for this particular position? The definition of business, for a lot of people don't know, is solving people problems. That's all it is and all it ever was. Okay. And so a trial close is an important way to start. Okay. If I'm with a non-decision maker, then I'm going to turn that into the close. The close for the non-decision maker. Do you think that you could recommend me to Sam, whomever, to fill this spot? And then would it be possible for you to help me get this interview set up? Do you think that would be something that you could do? Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't, relevant to the number of people they still have to talk to, right? And if you're with the decision maker, you better learn to close. Because if you don't close, you are like everybody else. Asking questions like, "Oh, what's the next step?" Or, well, where do we go from here? Or when might you be in contact with me? Or, questions that are like off the wall to me. But I've been in this industry for a long time. It gets down to, I think this position fits me extremely well because of this, this, and this. How could I go about getting an offer for this position today? Now, somebody in here knows about sales. So what do you do once you close? Once you ask the closing question, what do you do?
You get out.
No.
I always say once you got the offer, stop talking.
Yeah, but stop talking. I'm going to go there. Shut up. The main thing that they got to teach somebody that's going into sales is, once you close, the next person that speaks loses. And it's the same that is true in an interview. Once you close, how could I go about getting an offer for this position today? I have had clients have to wait for upwards to 2 minutes for the decision maker to answer, because they were testing their mettle. They were testing their character, if you will, at that point in time. And there are decision makers for sales pros all the time that do that. And it's on purpose. It's to see if they can handle the silence after they close. Once you close, you're not the next person that speaks. They speak. That's a hard past rule. And it's important to know. But most people don't trial close. And most people don't close. It's only 1% of the population ever taught to do that by some college, university, their parents, one of their colleagues, business-wise or whatever. And it's really kind of a sad fact that people don't know this, when they go to an interview. You got to be smarter. You got to be better than the other guys. The other, whomever you're competing with, okay? And you got to stand out, right? And there's a whole lot of people, okay, that I have as clients that once we get to the, a videotaping of an interview or what have you, I go, hey, let's watch this together. Lots of tough questions in there, and it's all on video and what have you. And I go, you want to watch it? And they go, no, I don't want to watch it. Don't make me watch it. Oh, but normally when I'm watching that with it, I'm saying, wow, you don't look very happy. Where's that great smile? Where's that happiness factor that goes in with, I like you? Because the eye contact and the big smile are two of the most important things that you can do in that conversation. And in the world of Zoom here, where we are, today, one of the things that I'm having my clients practice and study, okay, is to put a piece of fluorescent tape, whatever, where the camera is on their laptop or wherever they show the eye contact. Because the one thing that I noticed about myself as I was watching a recording is that we want to look at the face of the person like we would in person. But when you do that, like as I'm looking at Chris, my eyes do not appear to be looking at him because I'm not looking at the camera. And so having that little piece of something on there where you can focus your attention on that eye contact is with the camera, not your screen. And I'm having to teach a lot of clients here, recently, that this is one of the important things, because that eye contact means everything in person, and it means still a whole lot even when you're in the Zoom, mode, or Teams, or whatever it might be, Microsoft, Zoom's kind of moved ahead to this point in time to be the front runner, if that makes any sense. Okay, number 10, what does it mean to close the loop? Somebody was trying to answer this earlier. What does it mean to close the loop? We have till 7:45, don't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Setting up the next communication, whatever that communication is going to be.
Right. How do we do that?
Well, I threw that out there on that previous question. When can I get back to you, or what's a good time and date for me to get back to you? Being very direct and very specific about getting a piece, getting that, time set up.
So the answer that you are probably going to get back is, well, we're going to be in touch with people for maybe the second interview or wherever it is in the process within a couple of weeks. What now? What now, brown cow? See, we're not ready for it.
No.
We're not ready for it. Okay. So this is what's called close the loop. Okay. This is a terminology that I came up with when I was counseling many, many years ago, and it just stuck. It's called close the loop. And it goes like this. Oh, okay. Wow. That's great. That's fantastic. This has been a great conversation. And I certainly hope I get an opportunity to take this to the next step and have second interview, third interview, whatever it might be. And then you pull out a physical calendar. Even on Zoom, you do this. Oh, wow. Look at me. This isn't a calendar, but I'll pretend it is. Okay. Oh my gosh. Man, you said a couple of weeks. You're talking about maybe what the 15th or the 16th, right? I'm looking at a calendar. This is not an electronic deal. And they go, yeah, we'll probably be in touch right around then. And I go, you know what? I apologize, but I am going to be so busy at that point in time that I'll tell you what, if I haven't heard from you on the 15th, if it's okay with you, I'll just touch base with you on the 16th. If that's all right with you. And they always say yes. There is no, I mean, when I was young in this business, and it was a long time ago, we were having too many people, say to us, wow, it's been 2 weeks and nobody's been in contact with me. Well, we put our foot in the middle of that one, and I'll be interested, Raj, at some point to see if Lee Heckton Harrison's caught onto that. But the real bottom line is, you're the one responsible to be back in contact when you close the loop, not them. You're the one responsible. It's your life, it's your career, it's your future. And so you take the initiative, and they take that as assertive, not aggressive. Aggressive is a bull in a china shop. Assertive is the person that knows the right questions to ask. But it's really interesting how we've gone to Zoom, and let me look at my calendar here a second, and oh my gosh, wow, I'm going to be so busy at that point in time. And just for funsies, when I had clients doing this in person, and Lord willing, when the creek doesn't rise, we're going to go back to in-person interviews. But when I would have a client do that, I would actually have them be able to see what's on the calendar. And there was a whole bunch of different words and stuff on the calendar. And I said, I don't care if you put STC, in several of those boxes in your calendar. And he goes, well, what's STC? And I go, shampoo the cat. I mean, you're busy. Okay. You got a busy schedule. You're showing that you're busy. That's the kind of people that they want. Okay. It's those that plan ahead, those that they're utilizing a calendar. It's a subliminal thing that gets into their head that they can't stop it from happening. Right. But close the loop is such an important question. When a client comes back to me after the interview, it's usually the second question I ask. Did you close the loop? Because it shows the initiative. It shows that they have a plan. It shows they have a calendar. It shows things to the interviewer that they maybe didn't ask about or should have asked about, or just basically gives them a feeling about that particular person that says, hey, this is the kind of person I want. That makes sense? Close the loop is not something, well, I'll be here just sitting here in my chair waiting for you guys to call, and I'm not really doing anything because I'm unemployed, but I'd appreciate a call. No way. We're gonna be a lot more assertive than other people are, and that's gonna stick in their heads. What you do in the beginning, what you do in the end. I've been a magician for over 50 years. What you do in the beginning and what you do in the end tends to be the things they remember the most. And so they need to have an accentuation to them in the process of the interview. If you are leaving the interview and you do not have the offer, you have the 6 most important words that you are going to say. And if my clients don't say this, oh, they're in big trouble when they get back to me. This is just for funsies, and I brought this as a visual thing. This is like having 4 aces up your sleeve when you're playing some poker. Okay, this is an important thing to know and remember that you can share with other people that are going on an interview. It's the 6 most important words to say if you are leaving without the offer. What do you think? What are we going to say?
I am interested in the position.
Yeah, that better be obvious, okay, during the search or during the interview. That better be obvious. What I say is that going after a new position is a whole lot like going into a shoe store. It's got to fit a whole bunch of ways: width, length, style, color, comfort, and of course, price. Okay. But what are we going to say to this person who hopefully this is what you get to say this to a decision maker, because it really embeds in their brains. It's something they can't forget. Very bold, by the way, as well.
I look forward to receiving an offer. That's pretty bold.
That's pretty bold, right?
That checks the bold box.
There, but that's a little presumptuous too. And there are some people that you could rub wrong just a little bit with something like that. But it's close. I'll give you that. It's close. Somebody throw something out. It'd probably be right.
I look forward to hearing from you. That's not 6 words.
Amen. That's what everybody else is going to say. So you blend into the walls.
Yeah, but it is 6 words.
I give you that. Giving Raj that one. Anybody? Okay, listen up. Write this one down. Teach it to other people. Make this a part of what you do when you're trying to get more business from a client as well. If you give me an opportunity at this position, I will not let you down. Thanks again for your time. Out the door, walking 25% faster because you got places to go and people to see. And, you know, that used to be with a great firm handshake right at the end. You know, if there's anything that I'm missing in this COVID, you know, world is I've taught, you know, I've taught 1,000 people how to shake hands on a professional basis. It's amazing that that's not another area that we're being taught. Sometimes we have a mentor or somebody that, you know, at work or whatever that'll show us that, but there's a way to shake hands that is unbeatable. You know, was taught to me by a gentleman was my father-in-law, Dick Miller, and he was the artist that drew the Sunbeam Bread Girl way back when. I mean, just one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life. He taught me how to shake hands, and I've passed it on to so many people since. But that impression of I will not let you down. Now, when I can tell you that my very first career search out of college, I grabbed a book by Robert Half, and I still have it right here on my shelf somewhere. And it's the Robert Half Way to Get Hired or something like that. It was like 1964 was the copyright. And there was a chapter in there that said the 5 most important words is I won't let you down. And I changed it to the 6 because I think will not had a little bit more emphasis than won't. And I will not let you down. And doing that eyeball to eyeball on a Zoom, in person, whatever, is the exclamation mark that goes on the whole interview itself that can make the difference. And, you know, this should be taught to every single salespeople that, you know, every salesperson that has ever existed. You get an opportunity to talk to someone that's the buyer or the one that's going to make the decision as to whether to buy. You give me this business, I will not let you down. Thanks for the opportunity. Boom, out the door. We always walk 25, 30% faster. Isn't that funny? And, you know, we got energy and we're going someplace and we got stuff to do and places to go and people to meet. I have, okay, and scares some of my, when someone's considering being my client, I kind of scare them a little bit because I don't want the meek and timid. There's 469 pages in my manual. It took me 2.5 years to write. It's been edited 80 times at least and added to. And there's more information in there relevant to a career search than most people would ever know exists on the face of the earth. But it's not messing around, man. It's half your waking life. It's whether you're going to be happy. It's whether you're going to have a smile on your face, you know, when you're going home after work. It's everything. And sometimes people just, you know, treat it as though, well, I got to go to an interview today. I hope I do well, you know, break a leg, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, it's so serious when it comes to your career because it takes up so much of your time. It makes you feel a certain way about yourself. You get to be part of a team that is trying to accomplish something, and that makes us all feel, you know, better as well. So these are some of the things that, you know, I pulled out what what Charlotte will do is she will send you out an email here that has these questions, has these answers. And then I've got an offering on there that is, you know, not going to be met by any other corporate outplacement, you know, company or person that I know of. I've never met anyone that knows as much as I do about it, but I've, you know, dedicated my entire life to it, and I love it. You know, when you
Rich, thank you very much. Your passion for the subject certainly comes through loud and clear. So
thank you, Roy. I appreciate the invitation. We come to the end of the time here because we know Charlotte's going to have to move on. She's constantly involved in these, man, and
she doesn't. The gal doesn't sleep. So thanks again, Charlotte. The contact information for Rich, if people want to follow up in any way, shape, or form, will be, I assume, on your communication. All right.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone, for participating.